Well, good morning and welcome back to Auto Technic. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Nick and, well, trying something new here in the shop today. So all of the videos that I've done up to this point have all been very technical, and I generally try to cover one topic all the way through for that entire video. Now that creates, or I should say that slows me down on the work that I'm doing and also the filming of the video. On top of that, I have a deep backlog of editing videos. For example, the car that I'm currently editing videos for and uploading to the channel is the major service on the 99 F355. That is not the same car. That is a different car that we have in the shop, and I've actually had a few cars in and out since then. Yes, I filmed all those videos, but I'm only saying this to highlight just how far behind I am on editing. And honestly, those longer videos that are real technically heavy, especially when I start adding in multiple cameras, really have slowed down my editing. So kind of got me thinking. I still have a lot going on in the shop. I actually have a lot of cars that are coming in that are getting a lot smaller things that don't necessarily need a dedicated video for them. So I figured I'll come out here and just film little clips throughout each day, compile them up once a week, once every 2 weeks or so, and it'll give you guys some insight of what I'm currently doing in the shop, some of the smaller projects that are coming and going, and for those bigger projects, the real technical ones, it'll just give you a little foresight of what you can look forward to coming down the road. Now, I plan on using these videos to supplement all my previous technical videos, meaning all the content that you've seen on my channel up to this point, it's not going to change. We're going to do the same thing. When I have big jobs come in, something that's real in-depth that we want to cover, I'm going to make those dedicated videos for it. We're just going to have these other shorter videos that are supplementing to that. So with all of that, you can see that our 99 F355 is gone. You can also see that my E39 M5 is gone. That actually happens to be with a client right now. And well, that's helping make room for another car that I'm about to go pick up probably in about 40 minutes with the client. I'm not sure if he's going to let me record and film everything on that car. I really hope he will. I've talked to him about it a little bit. He's kind of hasn't decided, but this car is absolutely outstanding. A very rare and just cool car, very prominent in the Ferrari world. So we'll see what ends up with that. Hopefully he'll let me film that and cover all that work, so I think there's a lot of cool stuff on that car. But that's kind of where we're at. I'm waiting for some parts on this car, so it's just kind of hanging out. We'll have to shuffle the two cars around so I can work on them. And honestly, even though I don't have any other Ferraris in the shop right now, I have so many projects that I'm always working on that this is kind of the point behind these videos, because I don't really cover a lot of it. For example, we have the 72 Chevelle, that barn find Chevelle, that's my son's car that we've been working through. I think the last video that we uploaded on that was us putting shocks on it last summer. We're even behind editing on those videos, and truth be told, the engine is completely out of the car, torn down to a bare block, and I've actually been working on retrofitting the block. This is an early Gen 1 small block Chevy 350, but you can see that I've been working on retrofitting it, get these links off right here, to run a factory hydraulic roller setup. And that's because we found a lot of wear on our existing camshaft, and I did not want to put another flat tappet camshaft in the engine and run the risk of wiping a lobe and losing the rebuild. So in between the Ferraris, when they haven't been able to get in the shop and I don't have anything to work on, I've been jumping over and working on that. Like I mentioned, we're still making all the same videos on that, so there's going to be a dedicated video on that engine. It's just, I'm plucking away at small things, just trying to keep busy and get all these projects knocked out. I've had a lot of people talking about the jet boat, and I'll probably make a separate video just discussing the situation with the jet boat, where we're at, because we've put years of work into it and the project's kind of got kicked out of the shop and put on hold. But that doesn't mean I've totally given up on it. So one of my other smaller side projects that I've been working on is I have the fuel tanks out of the jet boat, and we're working on getting those polished. So you can see that I've been working on getting them sanded down with the DA. I think that one's sanded with probably 320 or 400 grit, and this one's at 220. You can see the red on it. That's where I sprayed Dicam on it to get rid of the scratches. These actually had some very aggressive, I'd say like 36 grit scratches on them from when they were fiberglassed into the boat. So that's just another thing that I have been working on, trying to keep myself busy in between these Ferraris. So let's take a second and talk about the Ferraris. Like I mentioned, the first Ferrari that we had in here is the F355, the 99 F1 car. And we worked through that major service, and honestly I was expecting to get that car worked through. That client has another car that he wants me to do a service on as well, And I was planning on working through those 2 cars and then getting back onto the jet boat. Honestly, much to my surprise, I've picked up a lot more work since then. Everything is just purely word of mouth. I'm not advertising anything. And I've already had another 355 come in for an inspection, and actually it came back. I did an inspection, gave it back to the client because we're going to push that work off till next fall. But then it developed misfire, came back, I diagnosed it, returned the car back to him. So we have that car that's come and gone. I've had a 430 in here. I think I have another 430 coming in here for an inspection, and also I think that car, we're going to be converting it from an F1 to a 6-speed this summer. So a lot of Ferrari work. It's really come in much quicker than I ever anticipated. And there's kind of a reason why there's been no Ferrari work on the channel, and all of a sudden there is a lot of Ferrari work. The fact of the matter is I had a no-compete from the dealership that I worked at, not with Ferrari, but with the independent franchise where I worked at, and my no-compete had me limited from servicing Ferraris in this area for 3 years after I left. So that's what allowed me to work on the boat for so long and be so focused on it, and that's why there was no Ferrari content on the channel up to this point, and obviously why there's a lot of Ferrari content now. Obviously, my no-compete is expired. I was fine with signing it. I knew that it was there when I first took the job. Never expected that I'd need to wait for it, but that's how life goes. I was happy to honor it, let it time out, and now we're free to do our own thing. So I guess is what I'm trying to say is that's why there hasn't been much Ferrari content. There'll be a lot more, but that doesn't mean I'm going to abandon all the stuff that I've done in the past. So, you know, we have my son Chevelle that we're working on. I'm still going to continue working on the jet boat. I have right over here this E28 M5, which I'm hopeful within the next year we're going to jump onto that one pretty heavy as well. So all of that stuff is still going to be coming on the channel. We're just going to be having a lot more Ferrari stuff as well coming in. Now, the unfortunate part about this is the Ferrari work is all of the client's work. And client's work is top priority in the shop. So I was able to work on the jet boat for over 2 years uninterrupted, and that is because I had the no-compete. I had nothing coming in. I didn't have to worry about it, and I had all the time in the world. I was hopeful and trying to get the boat finished before that expired, so I didn't have to worry about it once all this other work came in, but that didn't happen. So here we are. But is what I'm saying is all the same stuff that you've seen on the channel is going to still be here. We're going to be doing the same things. Honestly, the Ferrari work is what pays the bills, so I can come out here, afford to work on the jet boat and put all those parts on it and make that project. So really, if I didn't do this Ferrari stuff, I couldn't be doing the other projects as well. It really kind of funds everything within itself. So I think I've rambled on enough for today. Probably drop you guys back a little bit later this week and kind of update you with where we're at. Well, happy Thursday morning to you guys. Yesterday, I would say, was an outstanding success. Got some great news for you, but we'll get to that in a second. But where we left off, we had a client coming by. He was picking me up, and we had to drive up to the local Ferrari dealership to pick up his vehicle. Now, that vehicle was in at the dealership getting its Classic K certification, and once they had all that finished up, he wanted it back here at my shop so that way I could go through the car. There's a couple complaints he has, and it's just getting a basic service. I say it's outstanding success because, for one, the client wanted me to get some seat time behind the car and give it a drive. I have not had the opportunity to work on or drive this particular car yet. So I was blessed with a pretty rare opportunity to get behind the wheel of this car, drive it all the way back from the dealership to my shop, which was probably 25 miles. Took the nice back roads, the scenic route, probably took me 40 minutes, and it was absolutely fantastic. And a pretty rare opportunity that I'm frankly just very thankful for. Now, I mentioned that we have some good news, and well, that all pertains to this car that we're talking about. Yesterday when I was talking to you guys, I mentioned that I already kind of talked to the client about the potential for me to have this car on camera, and I didn't know his appetite for that at the time. So I kind of let it be, and when we were driving up to the dealership, I kind of talked to him about it again, and he was actually pretty open to it this time. And ultimately what I told him I planned on doing was I was going to go through, I'm going to service the car. That's obviously the #1 priority. But I was going to just film it anyways, and then I'm going to film it, put the video together, and then let him review the video. And from at that point, he could decide if that video is going to be on the channel or not, or covering the work of the car. And he was absolutely okay with that idea. He really liked it and really enjoyed it. So with that, I was like, that's awesome, because I think there's a lot here that we want to see. This is a pretty rare car. So I don't have to talk about said mystery car anymore. So we'd only have, you know, one said mystery car in the shop right now. So with that, I'm going to show you guys what we went and picked up at the dealership yesterday, and this one, I gotta say, incredibly special. We have 1967 275 GTB 4-cam. So if you guys are in the Ferrari world and you know the significance of this car, it is a heavy hitter in the world, very prominent in the world. It is very prestigious. And I think they built 330 of these or 331. So extremely rare, low numbers car. And as you can see, this thing is absolutely beautiful, incredibly stunning, outstanding condition, and probably one of the best looking Ferraris of all time. Just absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous car. It's equipped with the legendary Colombo V12, and this thing is mint. Very beautiful car. So giving you guys a look in here, you can tell that the condition that it's in is just absolutely outstanding. So this thing is pretty much flawless. It looks pretty great, and as you can imagine, it doesn't need a whole heap of work. So we're doing basically your basic services, so just your basic fluids, engine oil, coolant, gearbox, stuff of that nature. And he has a couple complaints. His main complaint is it is very difficult to start. He has a really hard time starting it when it's cold, so we need to look into that. However, as I mentioned when I was driving the car back, which was a really good thing, I noticed that I didn't like the way the throttle pedal felt. It really felt like it was delayed probably by 25 degrees of pedal movement in relation to when the carburetors would start to open, which actually made it really hard to drive the car because you'd have to program your brain to push the gas pedal a lot further before you start releasing the clutch. And I think that all might be related. But the car got here yesterday. I haven't done anything with it yet. It's just sat here, and I'm out here today actually going to start kicking off the series of videos dedicated to this car, where I go through and service it and dive in and deal with that throttle pedal carburetor issue and see what's going on there. So that's our update for here today. I'm going to jump over and get onto this car, see how far we make it. Unfortunately, with my work week, Thursdays are the end of my week in the shop. I actually have a normal full-time job, which requires me to be there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then, well, I work a little bit on Monday mornings, and then that gives me Monday afternoons, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays out here in the shop. So we're burning the midnight oil, burning the candle on both ends, but that's what we're out here doing to get these cars done. So it's enough of me jaw-jacking for now. I'm going to jump over, start heading into this 275, see what we have, get it inspected, assessed, and check out that throttle pedal. And I'll bring you guys back at the end of the day and just kind of recap where we're at. Alright guys, so we're starting to wrap the day up out here, and since it's Thursday, it's effectively my Friday out here in the shop. So I figure I'll bring you back, recap you where we're at on the 275 and what we have planned for, I should say, next week, because, well, I'm about to roll into my normal work weekend, so I won't be out here for a couple days. But the 275, I've completed the initial inspection, I've looked over the car, I've assessed and evaluated the condition and state that the car is in, which is usually my number one objective when I get these cars in the shop, so that way I can kind of take what I find the condition and state of the car, match it with the customer's complaints, any needs that he has that he complained of or wants me to take care of, and anything I found, and we can kind of talk to each other and formulate a solid game plan on the scope of work that we're doing to the car. I don't like just pulling the car in and just jumping into the work that he wants me to do and then have to call him up a week later and be like, oh, we found this, 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 and this. I try to minimize that, and I try to make it to where I'm only talking to the client once about what the car needs. So we got that inspection done. That's out of the way, and that really is kind of like the gatekeeper to getting into the actual work onto the car. Now, I did mention when I was driving the car, I didn't like the throttle pedal. I also mentioned that the car is in primarily because it's really hard to start when it's cold. Well, I was able to confirm that the cold start, well, I should say I did a cold start on the car, and I was able to get the car to fire off with just a couple of revolutions of the key. It cranked, it lit off. I probably gave it a little bit more fuel than it needed, so it took a second to clear out, but it was actually a pretty phenomenal cold start, especially considering it's a carbureted car with points ignition. Long story short, without going into too much detail, the problem that I felt with the throttle pedal, I feel is the cause and related to the problem that the customer is experiencing with the cold starts. And once I rectify that, the difficulty in cold starting this car will go away. And fortunately for myself and the client, I will be able to make that change pretty sure I won't need any parts. I'll be able to just get it done. Worst case scenario, I'll have to buy some generic off-the-shelf parts that I can get locally, but I'll be able to just use a little bit of time, some adjustments, we'll get it taken care of, and it should be dialed in. And I do think that all my parts for this car are going slated to be here tomorrow, so that means if I talk to the client sometime this weekend, next week, I'll be basically green light, full tilt, ready to go. We'll get all the fluids taken care of on this car. I'll get my adjustments done. With any luck, I'll be able to get it back out on the road, do a road test with it. And I mean, best case scenario, with any luck, I can finish everything on the car and have it all buttoned up next week, which that would be outstanding. In the meantime, I also have the other parts for the mystery car that's up here. Hopefully those will be here tomorrow as well, so that will give me something to work on that as well. Although I will say that the 275 right now is the #1 priority that I have here in the shop. I want to get this serviced and returned back to the client. All right, so that pretty much covers what we did out here in the shop this week. Now, it was an abbreviated week, meaning I didn't start filming until Wednesday, so I only filmed yesterday and today. Yesterday, we spent the day getting the 275. Today, we worked through the inspections, did some other odds and ends around the house. I wasn't able to get out here Tuesday, and that's just the reality of it. Fighting for time. So, a bit abbreviated, but I'm hoping next week I should be free and clear where I have more time out here dedicated to doing things. And I'll bring you guys along. We'll cover what we're doing. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, still going to be doing my normal in-depth technical start to finish videos either on just one car or the job in general that I've been doing. So I'm just hoping that these ones are out there to help supplement those and also just give you guys a little bit more insight of what's going on in the shop. So the most important thing about these videos, guys, is I really need to know what you think. I need to know what you guys want to see or see less of, so jump in the comments, let me know what you thought of the video. If there's something you want to see more of around here, let me know and I'll do my best to capture it. But I need your guys' feedback so I can help steer the videos to what you want to see. You know the drill. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. As always, guys, I appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys out here next week.